YouTube, and welcome to another Doctor Who product review. It's been a while since we've done one of these, but today I'm taking a look at something that pretty much everybody has took a look at by now, and it's the 12th Doctor's second sonic screwdriver, which I do believe is probably about a month old. It originally came out in Toys R Us and quite a lot of people got excited about it, and probably by the time this video goes up, it will no doubt be in other major retailers such as Forbidden Planet and many other different toy stores around the UK, and I do believe that it is also in America by now as well. So yeah, this one has got around very, very quickly, and it's no doubt one of the most mass-produced products that we've had in quite a long time, which, hey, you can't blame Character Options for that, because this is probably the only new thing that we're actually getting this year, so they're going to want to scrounge as much money out of people as possible. Taking a look at the box itself, bit of deja vu. It is pretty much the same idea as the initial 11th Doctor sonic screwdriver released back in 2010, but this time it's got the more collector series style of packaging that we've seen last year. So at the bottom we get the BBC and Doctor Who logos, along with the 12th Doctor's second sonic screwdriver, not to be confused with the one that they released last year, being the Touch Control 11th Doctor one that they cleverly marketed as the 12th Doctor sonic screwdriver, just in hope people would buy it. But yeah, it didn't work at some extent really. The sonic screwdriver nicely displayed in there, along with some of the features listed at the side, one of which is static flashing and chase light sound effects, with somebody holding the sonic screwdriver probably being very pleased with themselves. Sides of this we get green and blue light modes, which actually suggests that they've put some effort in for once, which is great. At the top of this, you have the Character Options and BBC logo. Taking a look at the sides of the tube, we get the company information printed, as well as the instructions for the device, which is nice because they're saving on paper and cutting down on materials. How good's that? It's a shame that they don't apply the same thing to the 3.75 line by not making them entirely. But take a look at the sides, we get the scan me, as well as somebody else holding the sonic screwdriver. And then we also have a bit of information about the sonic screwdriver, which, in case you don't know what a sonic screwdriver is, there you go, you have some information on it, as well as some company information at the bottom. So that's really it for the box actually. I do quite like the look of it. I really like the way that they've made it look like the collector series, and it is actually quite stylish. So overall, I do like this a lot more than the horrible blister packets that we got with the sonic screwdriver waves that we've seen a few years back. But yeah, this is a lot better. Here is the sonic screwdriver itself. Now I know that quite a lot of people have been very divided over this sonic screwdriver, saying it's too big, saying it's too clunky, whatever else, and that has been therefore affecting their views of the actual product itself, which I'm going to sort of get my views out the way very briefly first. Personally, I sort of like the design of it. When I first seen it, I really liked the additions of it. I really liked how new it looked. I really liked how different it looked. But once I've seen it throughout Doctor Who in a few sort of scenes, like in little sort of promotional materials, things like that, even just little scenes like that, I've sort of grown to realise how bloody awkward it looks, because I've seen every single shot of how Peter's holding it, and it doesn't look natural at all. I find that it looks very weird and a bit clunky, as people say in places, but overall I don't think it's too bad as a few people make out. That is my opinion. I do though think that it is too big, definitely. I do agree on that one. I think that it would be much better if it was much of the David Tennant size of Sonic, because just look how more convenient that looks. Way more convenient than the big massive thing behind. But yeah, I just think that generally it looks a little bit clunky in parts, but I do really like the way that it's been made. I think it looks a lot better than other Sonics that we've seen, including the 11th Doctor one. I'm so glad that they got rid of the extend and claw feature, because that was just bloody ridiculous. But yeah, starting off first at the emitter of the sonic screwdriver, I really give the designer credit actually, because this looks absolutely nothing like we've ever seen before on a Doctor sonic screwdriver. It's completely new, and I give them respect for that, because it's nice to have change for once, and it's nice to have something that's completely different to other sonic screwdrivers, making it stand out and have its own selling point. So as you can see, for the first time ever on a Doctor Sonic anywhere, we have multiple light sections, which is nice to see. These have been replicated really well. I think some of the problems with Character Options toys is the transparent parts look really crap, let's face it. But yeah, these have been done really well actually. The plastic sections cover all four sides of the Sonic, and then to divide this we have these parts in the middle. And once again, these have been done rather well. The opportunity to look really plasticky and horrible could have been taken here, but this time we've had this really nice paint application over the top to make it look quite a blue sort of glossy effect, and a little bit glittery in parts as well. So once again, does look a little bit plasticky, because it is actually plastic, and it's pretty hard to not make plastic look like plastic. But yeah, I think they've sort of done a good attempt at it. I think it doesn't look that bad. And then at the top of this we get the 5 different emitter sections, which have been done very well. So we have the 4 tubes around the outside, and then the 5th main emitter in the middle. I will show you these lit up in a little bit, but once again, those have been done rather well. Now take a look at the bit of the Sonic that quite a lot of people have been hating on. This is the clunky section that people call it, which I do sort of agree on. I think it looks very weird, and it could be very nice and streamlined, but they've chosen not to go down that route. So as you can see, this connects really nicely actually from the blue. It does look a little bit jarring in parts though, however. So I have this sort of silver collar piece here, which has a few ridges on, which once again, gone from blue to silver and then to gold. It is a bit of a weird combination, but yeah, I do like the way that's been done, replicated very nicely. And then towards the side of this, we get the claw sections, which I'll come on to in a little second. But yeah, we have the gold banding all the way around the sides there, which have been painted rather well. I think the gold doesn't look too bad. If anything, the silver could have been sort of a bit more shinier to make it look less plasticky, but yeah, that's sort of been done okay. And then to the side of this, we sort of have these clamp sections. I don't quite know what they are, but yeah, we have these weird clamp things, which I do think look a little bit bulky. In the show, they don't look too bad, but because this is made of plastic, sort of these sections are a lot thicker than what they are actually in the show. But yeah, I do like the way that we have these sort of silver sections that have been applied to the Sonic itself. I do believe that these are actually probably screws covered over. I don't quite know what these are really, but I do like the addition of them, even if they are to make the Sonic sort of hold together a little bit better. I think they've been blended into the Sonic very nicely. Once again, we return to blue because I don't quite know why. But yeah, the blue section once again has been done rather well. We just have nothing on this side except a little screw, which once again gives the idea that it's actually been made and sort of blended together, which unfortunately though we do have those horrible sculpting lines on the side there, which I guess can't be helped. But then in the middle we have sort of the switch thing. Now in the actual shot, I do believe that probably rotates round, I'm guessing, because it is sort of a round thing. On this actual device, have made it look a lot more simple. They've added a silver panel to the sides there, and then we have sort of this ridged section here. Now this is in fact the part that you pull to make it sort of light up in different parts, which it is okay. It is different to what we've seen before, as opposed to a horrible button. This is sort of a much nicer slider effect. I do quite like that. But yeah, once again, a bit of a similar thing. It just looks a little bit silvery and bulky, I guess, and sort of a little bit plasticky as well. So it would have been maybe nice to see the rotating feature in there, although I may be probably asking for too much. Moving down now, we have more gold things for some reason, but yeah, these have once again been done okay. I just think the gold looks a little bit weird compared to the rest of the blue and silver, but yeah, this has been painted okay. On the top one of the band there, you can sort of see a little bit of paint bleed between the black and gold, which is a little bit annoying, but yeah, that could be done a little bit better. But this is the part that I honestly think does look very plasticky from this point onwards, as this is, funny enough, also the connecting part to the actual battery compartment, which I will come on to a little bit later once again. But as you can see, that's been done okay. It's a little bit chipped actually in parts, and that is actually how it came, so that is a little bit annoying. But yeah, and a few little scratches and things there. Don't quite know why that's there, but yeah, that's a bit annoying. But yeah, those are just a little bit jarring, I think, and once again don't really blend in with the silver and blue, but overall they do look okay-ish. Towards the bottom, once again, we have the bulky parts again. What on earth are these? But yeah, we have sort of the silvery things, which have been done rather well, as well as some gold in the middle, because hey, we have gold on the Sonic for some reason. But yeah, we have these really weird clamp things once again that come out the outside, which to me would be directly where you would hold it. But yeah, if anything, they were meant to be sort of to hold and aid the Sonic screwdriver in a holding position. But if anything, I just think that it looks a little bit sort of clunky. But yeah, we have the sort of the screw effects, which these are fake screws this time, once again, have been done rather well. And just sort of these cage sections around the outside, as well as the blue in the middle. But once again, I do think the design looks alright. I think that it looks okay. It does look sort of a bit of a weird tapered end. It doesn't really sort of come to a halt, it just sort of stops, which I think is a little bit weird. It sort of gets smaller and smaller, which I don't really quite like. I think it could have tapered off a little bit better. But yeah, this cage section is just a little bit weird, to be honest. And then at the very bottom, we sort of have this jabby bit, which I'm calling it. Probably isn't actually called that, but I'm calling it the jabby bit. But yeah, that's been done rather well. Once again, we sort of have this 3D sculpting, which has been done very nicely, once again engraved into the plastic, which is great to see. And then at the very bottom, we get one last bit of blue in there, as well as another bit of bloody gold. And then we have sort of the silver end cap. If any Sonic was actually going to be sort of a more pimped out Bic pen, it would be this one. I could imagine the lid coming off there and sort of writing with it and looking like a complete idiot. But yeah, one thing that I can compliment Character Options on so much is the lack of company information and horrible barcode stuff, because hey, the last thing I want to do is buy a Sonic screwdriver to have some company information stamped all over it. Looking at you, 10th Doctor Sonic screwdriver. Much like the River Song Sonic screwdriver, they've gone down the same route as that, which unfortunately was missed on the 11th Doctor one for some reason, but you can in fact disconnect it from this point there, and then pull this point off there, and then we have the battery compartment inside, much like the River Song one. So yeah, I do really like the return to that feature, as once again it actually shows that they put in effort to sort of hide all of their company junk. But yeah, the batteries go in there, and then you just slide that over the top, and nobody will ever know that it's a battery operated device. But yeah, generally I like that. I think that it makes it look like they've actually put some effort into making it look like an actual roleplay toy, which is something that I can really give them credit on. This is probably the most accurate looking Sonic that we've seen ever to the actual show itself, partly because it was taken from scans from one made by Rubber Toe Replicas, the people who actually make the Sonic screwdriver in the show. So one of the main problems in production for this toy was trying to make it actually replicate the light sound effects as seen in the show, especially the one with the running chase effect, which to be honest I'm quite surprised they've actually been able to pull off on a toy, which I'm very happy that they've actually gone through the effort to make that. It does seem in a few videos where they actually went into the making of the Sonic, it does seem that they actually wanted to really get that right. So yeah, it's good that they've once again put in effort for that, and the feature to do this basically coordinates of up or down, which is great. It's a really nice and simple feature, unlike a god-awful button, so it's nice to actually have a pullable feature, once again much like how it is in the show. Simply pulling the lever down activates the standard pulsating blue sound effect that we've all seen time and time again. I do believe that this is exactly the same to other sonic screwdrivers that we've seen, and even the sound effect remains the same. Pulling the lever up activates the green version of the sound effect, which is a little bit more higher pitch. Double drag down activates a really nice blue light chasing effect. Probably actually one of my favourite features that they've ever done on a Sonic, and once again I'm very happy that they're pulled off. And then dragging up twice activates sort of like a green pulsating effect, a bit like similar to the 11th Doctor Sonic screwdriver. A bit of a comparison now of some of the other sonic screwdrivers in my collection. These are the two One Company Universe remotes released over the past 3 years-ish, and they range from about £50 to £70. Comparing it to that of this 12th Doctor sonic screwdriver, I actually think that it fits in pretty well. Compared to the other toys, however, that are really clunky, really horrible looking, really plastic looking, even though this is made of plastic, it still fits in rather well. I think that it does actually get away in a way of actually being a part of this line. Of course, when the One Company do eventually get round to making one of these for themselves, it will of course be a lot better, but for now, even though this is made of plastic, even though it's not even touching the price range of the Universe remotes, I think that it fits in really well. For £15 you have something that can actually suit the collector of a sonic screwdriver, as it is actually took from scans of the actual prop itself that makes it very accurate, but also something that fits in with the younger fans as well, and I think that's actually something great because it is a cheap and affordable thing that's actually very accurate to the show itself. And now doing a comparison with the previously released character options predecessors, as you can see, they've definitely upped their game with the 12th Doctor one. It looks a lot like the prop as seen in the show, but compared to the previous two, to be quite honest, I've never actually realised how bad they actually look, especially the 10th Doctor one. Just comparing that to the actual size of what it's meant to be of the Universe remote, they've got it completely wrong on the toy. I think that they got the scale right pretty well on the 12th Doctor / 11th Doctor sonic screwdriver, actually. The 12th Doctor one, which is 1 in scale, and 2 looks miles better compared to the previous one, so it's really nice to see that they're finally actually putting an effort, getting rid of company information and everything else, and actually giving it accurate features as well, because just comparing it to that one that looks extremely plasticky, I think they've definitely upped the game. It looks really good, and once again proves if they actually put their mind to something, they can actually get it done. And you could probably guarantee if Doctor Who wasn't on hiatus this year and they were cutting back on all the products that they're releasing, this product would no doubt be a lot crapper and a lot less effort put in. You could probably guarantee it, because character options like to divide their effort out, dividing their money out on re-releases. So I'm kind of glad that Doctor Who is on hiatus this year, because then you can actually get prop replicas in a decent price market that actually work, actually look like the sonic screwdriver, and actually are pretty decent. So well done, character, you've done something right. So overall for this toy, it is generally down to your personal preference of what you think of the design from the actual show. If you don't like the design, you probably will not like this toy. If you do, you'll no doubt be really happy with it. But speaking from the character options toy perspective of a £14.99 product, I actually think they've done a really good job. For once, it actually shows that they've put in effort. It looks accurate to what is seen in the show, and generally for 15 quid, you can't really go wrong. I'm really surprised that they've actually put in 2 light features for once, going back to sort of the River Songs kind of design. I really like the feature of pulling up and down as well, as opposed to the button, although that the paint apps could be improved in places, and I know that a few people did want to see the red setting as seen in the rubber toe version, but of course in the actual show there isn't actually the red setting, or at least they've not used it yet, so it could look a little bit less plasticky as well, especially towards the cage section at the very end. That does look a little bit plasticky, but generally, as I said, overall an affordable toy for a collector, for children as well, which is great to see, and overall a really nice product. I'd just like to end this video by saying I do apologise for the delay in this review, because generally I am putting it down to exams at the moment. It is a priority for me to get my exams, get my GCSE grades, because let's face it, when it comes down to it at the end of the day, what's going to get me qualifications? Doing YouTube videos or exams? Exams. So yeah, and that's why I'm sort of putting YouTube on a back seat at the moment. So I do still hope that you enjoyed this review, even though that several other billion people have reviewed it by now. Hoping you still enjoyed it, even though the product has been a bit delayed, really. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please do give it a big like. Please subscribe if you're not already. If any questions, please do leave them below, and I'll be sure to answer them at some point in the near future. Thanks again for watching, and I shall see you all next time. So thanks for watching, and bye for now.